Namaskar. Welcome to the YouTube channel of Prayathnam. We continue with Vidyapati. As said earlier, Vidyapati is best remembered for a compilation of love poetry dedicated to Radha and Krishna, written between say 1380 and 1406 approximately, during the reign of Shivasimha, where Vidyapati was a court poet. Shivasimha was an able and valorous king, and despite repeated attacks from the Muslims, he managed to maintain his sovereignty. But during one such attack, it is said that Shivasimha himself escaped and disappeared, and Vidyapati too went into exile during this period, and that was the end of the golden period of Vidyapati. Though he is said to have come back to the court of Mithila around 1418, but he wrote no more of Radha and Krishna. He did produce a lot of work later too, but it was not about Radha and Krishna. The love songs of Vidyapati describe the sensuous love story of Radha and Krishna, following a long line of Vaishnava love poetry, which was popular in eastern part of the country, including probably the most celebrated work of all times, the Gita Govinda by Jayadeva. He was very much a follower of the tradition of using the language of physical love to describe the spiritual love. As Kabir says, Tanarat kari main, manarat kari hoon. That is, from the body to the heart. His style of Padavali, which were like Giti Kavyas, that is, they could be easily sung, had a huge influence in the writings of later poets like Surdas and Meera. Vidyapati also had a huge influence in the development of the Eastern languages like Maithili, of course, but Bangla and Oriya, so much so that a dialect called Brajabuli was developed, which is mostly Maithili with a few words from Bangla that were used by many of the poets in times to come. Chandidas was a great follower of Vidyapati and wrote his padas following his style, so much so that even Tagore is said to have used Brajabuli for his Bhanusimha Padavali, which he wrote under the pen name of Bhanusimha, which also describe the love between Radha and Krishna. There is a debate whether to treat Vidyapati as a shringaric poet or a bhakta. That is beside the point. What is important and evident is that his works treat Radha and Krishna as an ordinary nayaka and nayika in love and experiencing its various facets. The depiction and description in his works are very natural and unrestrained. It is not couched in spirituality. He was almost a devotee of beauty. Beauty leads to love. One sees beauty only where there is love and vice versa. Vidyapati describes beauty as chiranutan, that is, something that sprouts anew every second. It is fresh and new every time you confront it. As Kalidasa says, Kshane Kshane yan navatam upayati tadeva rupa ramaniyataya. That which pulsates anew, sprouts afresh, and reinvents itself every second is what is beauty. Vidyapati expresses very similar sentiments. Here, Radha tells her Sakhi, Sakhi ki poochhasi anubhav moy, tile tile nootan hoy, janam avadhi हम रूप निहारिल नयन न तिरपित भेल हे सखी पूछली अनुभव मोय. Oh friend, what do I say about my experience? Tile tile nutan hoy. Every second it is new. She's talking about Krishna's Rupa. Every time she sees him differently. She sees something more. She sees something more beautiful. Janam avadhi hum roop niharil. My entire life I've been admiring and gazing at that beautiful form. Nayana na tirpat bhel. My eyes aren't quenched. My thirst for his form is still as much there. I have not got the tripti, the satisfaction of honing that form into my eyes. Talking about beauty, Vidyapati describes his nayika and the nayaka. He has not been partial to one. He has described both their states of minds, both their beauties, as eloquently as possible. He goes on to the Nakashikha Varnana of Radha as well as of Krishna. I'll take an example here of Krishna when Radha tells her friend, He Sakhi Pekhara Ek Aparupa. Oh friend, I saw an aparupa, an uncomparable beauty. Sunahite manav sapana swarupa. If I tell you, you'll think I'm dreaming. But no, I did see him. Kamal jugal par chandak mal. There are two lotuses which are laced by a garland of crescent moons. Tapar upajat taruna tamal. On top of it or from it grow two tamala trees. Tapar bedhala bijuri lata. Those tamala trees are wrapped by the creeper of lightning. She's referring to the Pitambar here. Kalindi tire dhire chali jata. And he walks on the banks of Yamuna. Vimala bimba phale jugala vikas. Two ripened bimba fruits are placed next to each other. On top of it sits the parrot. Tapare tire dhira karuvas. And on top of that, Tapare chanjara khanjana jor. There are a pair of very, very chanjara khanjana birds. Tapare saapine jhapalumor. And on top of that, the serpents are being tied together by the peacock. She doesn't take Krishna's name anywhere. Or rather, Vidyapati does not take Krishna's name anywhere but paints Krishna with similes and metaphors. That is Vidyapati's description of beauty. I've just put the key in the hole for you to open the door, so please go and take a dip in that ocean of Vidyapati's beauty.